They want to know if there's a problem between me and this man, President Trump roared, pulling J.D. Vance into a one-armed embrace on the massive stage. Let me tell you what the problem is, Jasmine Crockett. The problem is you. A fragile quiet had finally settled over Washington. For Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife Usha, it felt like waking from a long and violent fever dream. Jasmine Crockett, the architect of their torment, was gone, a political ghost awaiting her legal reckoning. The attacks had stopped. The war, they dared to believe, was over. But a serpent, even one with its fangs pulled, still has its venom. From the ruins of her career, Jasmine Crockett hatched her final, most insidious plot. She couldn't attack Usha anymore. She couldn't attack Vance's family. So, she aimed her last poisoned arrow at the one thing that held it all together: the absolute loyalty between the vice president and the president. Working through a cutout, she leaked a fabricated story to a major, respected political journal. The piece was a masterpiece of serious concern, citing multiple, anonymous, senior Republican sources. It detailed a supposed shadow campaign being built by J.D. Vance, a network of donors and operatives preparing for a future primary challenge against Donald Trump. It was filled with manufactured quotes about Vance feeling stifled and ready to lead. It was a lie designed not to create a scandal, but to plant a seed of doubt, to create a crack in the administration's foundation. The story broke on a Friday morning, and the political world ignited. In his West Wing office, J.D. Vance read the article, and a cold, weary rage, unlike any he had felt before, settled in his gut. After everything they had been through, after all the battles they had fought side by side, this was the final insult, an attack on his loyalty. He stormed into the Oval Office, the article on his tablet. "Mr. President, you've seen this? It's the most disgusting lie yet. I'm preparing a statement. We're going to deny every word of it." President Trump was sitting behind the Resolute desk, not looking at the news, but at a photograph on his credenza. It was a picture of him and Vance on the campaign trail, laughing. He looked up at his vice president, his expression not angry, but grimly determined. "No, J.D.," Trump said, his voice quiet but firm. "We're not. A denial is what she wants. She wants us on the defensive. She wants us to release a cold, sterile statement that the media can then spend a week dissecting for hidden meaning. She wants to create the very tension she's lying about." "So we do nothing?" Vance asked, frustrated. "We let them say I'm betraying you?" "We don't do nothing," Trump corrected, a strategic fire lighting his eyes. "We do something they will never see coming. We don't deny the lie. We demonstrate the truth so loudly, so publicly, that it makes her lie look like the pathetic, desperate whisper that it is." He leaned forward. "We have that big rally in Pennsylvania tonight. 10,000 people. Every major network will be there live. That's our stage." That evening, as they prepared for the rally, Usha Vance joined her husband. She saw the turmoil in his eyes. "You're worried," she said. "I'm angry," he confessed. "After everything he's done for us, for our family, for someone to question my loyalty to him." "Then don't tell them you're loyal, J.D.," Usha said, her voice a source of calm strength. "Show them. The president's instincts are right. Tonight is not about denying her lie. It's about celebrating your friendship. Let the country see what a real bond looks like. That will be the only answer that matters." The rally was electric. A massive crowd roared with an energy that could shake the foundations of the stadium. Backstage, the media was buzzing, all of them asking the same question. would the president address the explosive story about his vice president? In a corner of the arena, Jasmine Crockett, who had wangled a press pass through a friendly blogger, watched with a smug, expectant smirk. Her bomb had dropped. Now she would watch the fallout. J.D. Vance spoke first, delivering a powerful speech about American renewal. He finished to a thunderous ovation. Then it was time for the main event. President Donald Trump walked onto the stage like a rock star, waving to the roaring crowd. He delivered a fiery, powerful speech, hitting all his signature notes. But as he approached the end, he went off script. "You know," he began, his voice suddenly conversational, "I read a story today, a nasty fake news story. You probably saw it. It said there's a problem between me and my vice president." The crowd booed loudly at the mention of the story. Crockett leaned forward, her heart pounding. This was it. "It said this man," Trump said, turning and pointing to J.D. Vance, who stood just off to the side, "is disloyal, that he's secretly plotting against me." He chuckled, a sound of pure, dismissive contempt. What a bunch of garbage. He then did something no one expected. He walked over to Vance. "Get over here, RJD." Vance walked to the center of the stage, standing beside the president. Trump threw a powerful one-armed embrace around his vice president's shoulders, pulling him close. "They want to know if there's a problem between me and this man," President Trump roared, his voice booming across the stadium. The crowd went wild. "Let me tell you what the problem is, Jasmine Crockett," he said, calling her out by name. "The problem is you." The jumbo screens flashed to a shot of Crockett in the press pen, her face a mask of pure shock and horror. "The problem is a political class so rotten, so corrupt, that they cannot understand the meaning of the word loyalty." Trump continued, his voice filled with righteous fury. "They can't understand what a real friendship looks like. They live in a world of backstabbing and betrayal, so they assume everyone else does too." He tightened his grip on Vance's shoulder. "Let me tell you about this man. When the fake news came after his family, we stood with him. When they attacked his incredible wife, Usha, a brilliant lawyer and a great patriot, we stood with her. When they went after his children, we stood with them. Because that's what you do. You don't run. You don't hide. You stand with your friends." "This isn't just my vice president," he thundered, his voice raw with emotion. "This is my friend. This is my brother. This is a warrior who has been through the fire with me. And anyone who thinks they can drive a wedge between us is a fool. Our loyalty isn't a political calculation. It is a bond of iron, forged in the fires of their hate." He then raised Vance's hand in the air, like a champion boxer. "We are a team, an unbreakable team, and we are going to fight for this country together. We are going to win for this country together, and we are going to make America great again, together." The roar from the crowd was deafening, a physical force of nature. It was a moment of pure, unscripted, and undeniable power. It was not a political denial. It was a human declaration. Jasmine Crockett stood frozen amidst the cheering press, the smug smirk wiped from her face, replaced by a look of utter, soul-crushing defeat. Her final, most clever attack had not created a rift. It had done the opposite. It had handed her enemies the perfect stage on which to perform their most powerful act of unity. A display of unbreakable loyalty that had not only crushed her final lie, but had won the hearts of the entire nation. In a powerful and unscripted moment, President Trump and Vice President Vance demonstrated a bond that no lie could break. What was more devastating to Crockett's narrative, the president's furious, loyalty-driven speech, or the simple, powerful image of two friends standing together, united against a common enemy. Let us know your thoughts, and for more stories of true loyalty, be sure to subscribe.